Alright, welcome to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It's your host with the most. You know, when I look at this picture and then knowing Dalton's story now, his backstory, a story of survival, a story of deep hurt, a story of struggle, I see a kid here that recognized early in life that music was going to be his savior. Yes, this is Dalton Harris, X Factor, pinned to win UK 2018. Let's talk about this. Alright, so let's talk about this, right? So I'm reading the Mirror out of the UK, and it goes like this. X Factor favorite Dalton Harris has won the UK public over. X Factor favorite Dalton Harris does not cry, recalling the childhood abuse he says left deep scars, which start at the bottom of his feet, crisscross up his body, and end at his scalp. Wow. And you're wondering what he must have gone through, huh? He insists his story is not sad because he has forgiven those who hurt him or urged him to hurt himself. But he breaks down telling of his feeling when X Factor judges and audience give him a standing ovation. He says, "When I finish a song, I touch my chest as I feel my heart is exploding, or I touch my head because I feel it's unreal. My childhood had no love or support. Applause means finally I have value." Wow. Dalton is 24 and is tipped to win this year's contestant for X Factor UK 2018. I've said that before. This is my guy to win this competition. Now, his mentor, Louis Tomlinson, has been moved by his performances. Performing is therapy for Dalton, he says. "When I sing, I feel safe and free from everything I left behind. I'm in a room of happiness." Wow. It gets deep, people. Listen. So he said that growing up in Jamaica, the singer says he was raised in poverty, one of at least 22 siblings. And remember, man, listen, I know on my mom's side I have 4 sisters and 2 brothers, but my dad was very promiscuous and we don't know an exact number of kids. My mom and dad never married and both have kids to other people. Dad's side didn't believe that I belonged to them. Wow. Dalton says he spent his first 15 years living in 2 rooms with 5 siblings and other lodgers. He said that we never had electricity. Sometimes we couldn't even afford food. We bought water from the river, but it didn't make me angry. Mornings were green and fresh. The sun had the brightest shine. We were poor, but we were happy. Yet abuse darkened those sunny days. And while Dalton will not give names, he claims he was often beaten. "There's a cut above my right eyebrow and a cut around my ears and head, but I grew my hair to hide them. There are more on my chest, my arm, my shoulder, my back, my thighs, my legs, and my feet." Wow. "I was punched so hard by a guy that was dating my mom, I crashed through a window. The mental pain took longer to heal. I was told that I should walk into the road and kill myself," says Dalton. "I was told I was ugly and I was illegitimate. At 15, he was homeless and he slept behind a shop and a church, in basements and beside the river." Dalton, who now has no relationship with his mom or dad, scraped a living together by painting houses and recycling school jotters by carving them into love hearts to sell as diaries. His gift for singing, first spotted at Sunday school when he was 7 years old, paved a way for his escape. He says, "A teacher heard and entered me into a competition. I was happy as I knew I'd get lunch and a ride in a cab, so I enjoyed myself even before I won. God, man. Chick star Nile Rodgers reveals his most shocking X-rated rock and roll behavior. In 2011, I won National Talent Show and 1 million Jamaican dollars, which is about £6,000. That helped me pay rent and go to school. Yet, age 17, he was dangerously low. Nothing from my childhood made me feel I was good. I felt nothing positive from anybody apart from my sisters. All I got was hate, hurt, and abuse. As a teen, it got to me. When people tell you to go kill yourself, after a couple of years, you feel like you probably should. Thank God I got through that stage. I started forgiving myself and all the others that hurt me in any kind of way. Wow, this is heavy for me to even read. He said all he got was hurt, hate, and abuse. Damn. Dalton began working on cruise ships and set his mind on X Factor after seeing a YouTube clip several years ago. His work ethic resulted in his misshaped ears. We gotta talk about that. They changed shape when I was 18. I'm a workaholic and both my ears got inflamed from using headphones all the time. I'd listen to music and fall asleep in them. I had surgery but my ears are music marks and reminds me how hard I worked. Dalton says that money does not motivate him. What I want is a family. I will be the best husband and dad ever one day. The singer is besotted with 18-month-old niece, Nile, who is currently upset with him. This is how the story reads, right? Nile wants to play peekaboo on FaceTime, but I was about to meet Benny from ABBA, so I had to tell her I was busy. She said I was rude and hung up. For now, Dalton is focused on his singing ambitions. He says, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't drink caffeine, and I've never partied. I take care of my voice because my voice is the only thing I've ever had. Man, this kid is so deep. Listen, for him to say he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't consume caffeine, and he has never partied. Also, for him to come from a family where he says 22 siblings at least, his mom had how many? About 6, and his dad had an insurmountable number of children, and he was considered an illegitimate kid, and his mom's side of the family didn't think that he belonged to them and all this other stuff. You know, it kind of reminds me of the traditional Jamaican gallus thing. Listen to this man say, what he really wants is a family, and he will be the best husband and father someday. So I guess because he doesn't fit into that mold of a Jamaican male, one bag of girls, a whole heap of woman here, woman there, promiscuous sex, and so on and so forth, then he's not considered as masculine, right? And then anything that he does can probably be looked at as, oh, I'm a Batman, or I'm gay, or that look feminine dog, right? So I don't know, but this says a whole lot to me about Dalton. Wow. You know, there's an athlete called his name is Omar McLeod, right? World class sprinter as far as the hurdles goes, but I'm willing to bet that he will one day be a 100-meter sprinter and a record holder in the world class. Omar is bad when it comes to athletics, and I remember after he won, I think it was in the last Olympics, he was celebrating his win, and people, because of his mannerisms, I guess, when he celebrated his win, people were saying, oh, that looked very girlish, and it was his own Jamaican people. And I remember even, I believe it was a Lasco executive that typed something about fish, and we know what the word fish mean in Jamaica. So, right, you know, the backlash that came from it, people are saying, oh, I'm gay, I'm a Batman, this and that. And right away, Canada rallied to our hero, rallied to him, and started a bid to take him away. Like, literally started offering him citizenship there. If y'all don't want him, we want him. Omar, you're welcome here anytime. We'll make sure you get your citizenship papers straight and you can run and represent a nation that will appreciate you instead of being focused on what they think your sexuality is and all this other stuff. It's something kind of like what Dalton is going through right now with that picture that came out and so many of his countrymen and women having to say what they had to say. In a moment when he's looking for us to uplift him and vote multiple times if you have to, his competitors have supporters that are voting repeatedly. They probably vote 5-10 times a day for one person, each individual. And here's Dalton losing our votes because some of us have decided, hey, I'm going to withdraw my support because it's not manly to sit on another man's lap while taking a picture, so he must be gay. Like, it's the sickest thing ever. It's the saddest thing ever, you know? And here's the thing. It is out now that, and I wouldn't be surprised, I have no paperwork saying that this is true, but it is rumored to be that England would gladly snap him up and take him as one of their own and have him sing there and have him live there and have him feel very much at home there. And he can be prosperous there, right? And I'm seeing people saying, yes, Dalton should take that offer, stay in England, file for asylum. Some people even said that he posted those pictures on purpose because that was his way of plotting and planning how he was going to gain asylum in England, because he was going to say, oh, I fear for my life because they think I'm gay, so they're going to hurt me if I go back to Jamaica. And I doubt that 110%. This brother right here loves Jamaica so much, you can tell. I've seen his other posts online. I've heard him speak about Jamaica, and you can tell that he is so in love with Jamaica, even through all the stuff he's been through, right? That he would hate to just be taken away from there forever and live in some foreign land feeling like I can't return to my land. But at the same time, I cannot help to think, when he described the stuff that he's been through, scars from the bottom of his feet to the top of his head, scars behind his head, over his eyebrows, I think of wicked beatings. I think of a child being dragged and beat down. When I look at like these old pictures right here of Dalton, look at him then. You could see determination in his eye. You could see that this kid knew that he had a gift that was going to take him places. And funny enough, he is now in a position to tell his story to the world, if anything else. You know, the people that want us to stop talking about him, you're not doing him any good. What Dalton is experiencing now is star life, right? Stars get talked about. People don't talk about nobodies. They don't talk about people that are irrelevant. People talk about people that are stars, okay? And what he's experiencing right now is the good and the bad of it all. The publicity. All he has to do is tune out and tune in to what is going to take him to where he wants to be. That would be my advice to Dalton. Here's what I want my audience to do. I want you to leave your comment in the comment section below and tell me, have you heard or seen his story before here? And after listening to it here, did it change your views on him as far as people saying, well, he dresses feminine, or he talks feminine, or whatever the case is, or abateman, or whatever? Did you hear him? He said he is not motivated by money. He is motivated by him wanting a family. And I'm guessing that's something he never had. He is not in touch with his father or his mother. Yes, he is not in touch with his father or his mother. He said the only people he had ever felt any kind of love from was from his sisters. But other than that, He had never gotten anything other than hurt, pain, and abuse. Body filled with scars. Punched through a plate glass window or punched through a glass window. Beaten and told he was ugly and he was illegitimate and he needed to go walk out into the street in traffic and kill himself. This kid has been through a lot. A lot. So I can truly understand when he's in the company of people that make him feel as if, hey man, we weren't there when all the stuff that you grew up going through was happening, but what we can do now is be good to you. What we can do now is show you that there are good people around. This has nothing to do with being homosexual. This has to do with humanity. This has to do with sharing the joy of life. This has to do with letting this young man feel valued and validated. A lot of people say unconditional love or, well, I don't like what he's doing or whatever. You know, the funny thing is, when people commit suicide, right? And even that, Dalton said he has sunk to that low. After hearing people tell you so many times that you need to kill yourself, he said you start thinking that you actually do need to do it. But he's glad that he got past that part. And I can't help to think that his mom was a very big part of the person that told him he was ugly, told him he was illegitimate, told him he needed to kill himself and all this other stuff. All her mistakes projected on the result of what she considered her mistakes, which was her son, Dalton. Now, I don't know the ins and outs of his mom's story relationship because although he told his story, he was not specific in saying who did exactly what to him. But we can put the dots together and see, right? Anyways, man, I wish Dalton all the best, and I hope whoever hears this votes for him as many times as they could. I do believe he will be the winner of X Factor 2018 UK. Alright? I'm out. Peace.